and that's to talk a little bit about post-traumatic stress. I realized I had post-traumatic stress in about 2001. My wife and I got married in 1985. She lived through 15 years of hell, and she's still living through hell, because in the last 11 years, I've still got post-traumatic stress. And like I said, I've got a designated area that if I'm in, they know to leave me alone. I'm fortunate, my employer now, after 6 years, understands my problem, and they will let me go home anytime I see the need. I don't deal well with people on certain occasions. And they've been great. Say, Larry, if you're having problems, step away from that register, tell your supervisor you're going home, and leave. It took 6 years to get to that point, but they're very nice about it. The thing with post-traumatic stress is it's invisible. Nobody knows you have a problem unless you demonstrate it or say something. And most of us aren't going to say something. Most of us aren't going to admit to it. I may have a problem, but I'm not going to admit to it. I'm not going to go to the VA and see a psychiatrist. I'm not crazy. That's stupid Vietnam. You know, I went to Vietnam to fight a war. I came home, and I'm fighting another war with Vietnam inside of me. It's hard to explain, but there are situations that happen that I can't forget. I wish I could. There are other situations I can't remember that I wish I could. Just for an example, my previous job was carrying mail in downtown Peoria. I carried Adams Street, Main Street, Water Street. I delivered the courthouse. I can remember one time in particular that it hit me the worst. Downtown, right over the flight path for Life Flight helicopter going to St. Francis Hospital. I'm on my way over to the courthouse from the Chase Bank building. I've got my little push cart with me, and helicopter goes over. Now normally that helicopter does not sound like a Huey until you hit the backwash of those buildings downtown, and then it sounds just like a Huey. And it went over. The next thing I realize is I am 6 blocks away in front of Taft Homes. I have no idea how I got in front of Taft Homes, which is not an area of town I want to be in. Taft Homes is a housing development, high crime area. I had to have had some level of consciousness to cross the 6 streets that I went across and not get hit. Nobody said anything to me, and it's lunchtime, and people were out eating from food carts. But I have no idea how I got there. And it was just that trigger. Well, it may have been 2 triggers, because I also walked by a food cart of Vietnamese food. And the scent of Vietnamese food and that helicopter just sent me crazy. No. Nobody knew what was going on. I didn't even know what was going on. But it's the sort of thing that happens to us. Nobody who's been to war comes back the same as they left. Caitlin, I hope you spend your entire 30 years stateside.
Amen.
I know. Hoorah, you want to go over. But I am very fortunate that I found a loving wife who's considerate enough to understand. It took her a while, and I'm not sure she fully understands yet. But I'm also fortunate enough that meeting her caused me to realize one of the problems I had was in a brown bottle. I've been clean and dry since October the 13th of 1983. Part of that is because I didn't want to lose her.
Oh.
The other part is I finally realized that sobering up in the morning, the problems that I drowned the night before are reincarnated. They're still there. So with that, thank you all for coming. Give me about 2 minutes to get the food out here, and